It is pouring in parts of the Metro Phoenix area right now, and we've had close to 24 hours of this when you scan the entire state. Take a look at some of the images of the flooding that was happening just to the east of us up in the Globe, Miami area. They say it all came in so suddenly. Folks were just inundated there with rain, and then the flooding came, and homes and businesses being damaged by the extreme weather. And for a lot of folks up in that area, again, just east of the Metro Phoenix area, they're saying this is the worst they have seen in quite some time.
It was hard to believe, but then I looked and I saw what had happened, that it had just come loose from the concrete and fell over.
So what's next for you?
I'm going to use this as a remodeling project.
Well, you know what? That's the Arizona attitude right there, is you make the best of a bad situation, that's for sure. And this weather today is everything and more that Krystal told us get ready for, because it is coming in. Here she is, everybody. She joins us with the weather maps and with a look at Krystal. It's pretty wild out there right now.
Yeah, just like that. We had a couple little storms that were in Gila Bend like 2 hours ago, and they skirted up to the valley. They were pretty weak, hit us, and boom, they've just blossomed into some serious thunderstorms. So let's get right to the graphics, and we'll show it off. That's what I'm just working on right now.
Okay.
Trying to find some good cameras for us. This is 101 Bell Road, and you can see some rain that is on the camera lens here. Now, depending on where you're at, there are spots where this is coming down in like sheets of water. When we were on air, we were taking one of the cams over like 10 and 303 from this cell, and you couldn't even see out the camera. Like, you actually couldn't see the highway because the water was coming down so heavily. So this is one view, but then I have this next view here. It's moving so fast. Do you see on the right edge of the screen that like very dark wall? That is that column of rain moving off of the 10 and moving northward right now. So we've got some good storms that are rolling through the valley currently, and more to come. I expect the rest of the morning into the afternoon before things will quiet some heading into this evening. But the valley obviously is not alone. There are a lot of spots across the state that have stormy weather. Some of the heaviest storms, though, and now I'm seeing it looks like a severe thunderstorm warning was just issued for the valley. So let's get to it. We will zoom into the valley here. There's where that heaviest cell was moving over the 101. This is something I preset, but now we're going to work on the fly so we can see this new warning that just popped up. So this is over the 60, like Grand Ave. It clips 303, and then it's going to run up over SR 74 all the way to the edge, it looks like, of Lake Pleasant, this severe thunderstorm warning. Let's put a query on this. See why the National Weather Service issued it for us.
So you live anywhere in that orange box, you really need to be prepared, right?
Yes, yeah. So the good news is this is not as populated area, right? It's like right in the valley. But yes, in this area, nasty storm that's rolling through. Obviously, you can see there's a ton of lightning on it. But I just put the query on it. So it's in place for a half hour till 10:30. This was just issued by the National Weather Service a couple of minutes ago, it looks like. 1 minute ago. It was issued at 10:02. Wow. So it's moving 20 miles per hour to the northeast. You can see that it's moving pretty fast. And they put this in place because of quarter-size hail, though. So that means 1 inch in diameter hail, which is definitely large enough to cause some damage, and that's why they have put the severe thunderstorm warning out for this storm cell. I'm going to zoom the map out a little bit so you can kind of get a better view of where it is exactly in comparison to everything else. Let me turn off the satellite imagery.
We have Brandy the Bookworm said a lot of thunder and lightning. She's off the Loop 101 35th Avenue near Deer Valley Road.
Yes, yeah. Well, you can see quite a bit of the West Valley has thunderstorms rolling from Avondale up Surprise and then along the 17. That severe thunderstorm warning, as I mentioned, is that like northwest corner of the valley. A lot of lightning over in the West Valley. And then now I see there's this new cell that's kind of skipping the mountaintops currently of South Mountain, and it is moving into South Phoenix. And then finally, you can see there's that cell that's moving out of Sun Lakes and into like the Chandler-Ahwatukee area. Not as heavy, these storm cells so far, at least, that I just mentioned. But the big storm is that new severe thunderstorm warning. It's in the northwest corner.
It does sometimes to the layman's eye, which is me, it seems like the cells just pop up almost randomly, but what actually is causing it?
Well, okay, so let me zoom this back out for you guys a second. I'm going to widen our camera shot a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to turn off the satellite layer again because the clouds just kind of muck up the view.
Yeah.
So the storms that you see that are rolling through the West Valley, they originated down near Gila Bend. And right now I have it on a 1-hour loop, but let me put it on like a 3-hour loop and watch what happens. So in a second here, you're going to see that right there?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That turned into that.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was just a little bit of action down in Gila Bend, but you have to remember we've been quite humid down in the valley, so we had ample moisture at the ground.
Okay.
All we needed was lift, and a little tiny storm like that is enough lift. And once it hit the valley, we were high yesterday. We had a high of 107. So we had this kind of like energized air just waiting. I always think of it as like, you know, in the very dramatic movies where someone lights a match and there was the gas in the room, and it's like, oh no, and
You're
then
waiting.
the whole room blows up. That's kind of what just happened
Well,
here.
we had the heat the day before as well.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So it energized
2
the
days in a
atmosphere,
row, yeah.
and we just needed that match. The match was that little storm up from Gila Bend. But there's more to come. The whole pattern itself is super conducive to us seeing storms because this is the current pattern that we're under. So there's high pressure sitting over Mexico. That is the declining monsoon high as our monsoon season is coming to a close. But it is helping to wrap around some moisture around the area of high pressure, kind of pump it our way. That's monsoonal moisture. But we're getting this like major assist from what's more of a transitional pattern into fall and then eventually winter pattern, which is storms that come off the west coast. So that area of low pressure is pressed up against Arizona, grabbing more moisture and creating a really strong like lift effect.
That really explains it so well.
Yeah,
That's excellent.
I know
Yeah.
we measure rainfall at Phoenix Sky Harbor.
We do, yes.
The problem is it doesn't always hit Phoenix Sky Harbor.
Correct,
So
yep.
we're seeing so much rain today, obviously. But what about that Sky Harbor area? And are we going to see the measurements go up so that we end that monsoon season
Will
with
it
a
be
good
that-
total?
Will it be that or the traditional trace of rain?
Trace of
Oh,
rain,
don't
yeah.
say
It's
that.
so hard.
I think there's a pretty good chance that Sky Harbor could get something today because there's going to be more storms to come than what we're seeing right now. It's not like after these we're going to be done. We have chances throughout the morning into the afternoon, and then I think they'll start to die down as we head into the evening. But obviously, and it's very typical, we're going to see big totals in spots where you get these heaviest storms, and a lot of times that does seem to skirt around Sky Harbor. So no promises that we're going to get huge numbers, but there's always the possibility with these kind of storm cells. Let's take a little wider look, guys, of some of the storms elsewhere in the state for our viewers that are around Arizona. Scattered shower and thunderstorm activity, although not as heavy, kind of in the I-40 corridor, Williams to Flagstaff. It's definitely cloudy there. We've had a lot of storms running up I-17 all morning long, and actually there have been a couple severe thunderstorm warnings down that direction.
Oh, by the way, speaking of our freeways, for just a minute here,
Ooh,
look at this,
wow.
Richard. Let's figure out where this is here. So they are headed, looks like they're headed north on toward Bethany Home Road exit. I'm thinking this doesn't look like the 17.
This
has
was
gotta be
Rick
the
earlier.
101.
He was
Yeah.
on the 10 and he was on the 101 and just past the 17.
There you go.
If I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, so
That's
maybe he's
good.
going
Oh, wait.
the other way.
Chase him
The
a little
sign
weather?
just said 303.
Oh, there we go.
There
Okay,
you
so
go.
he may
that
have
makes
he may
sense.
have turned around and was going the other way. Then we have Glendale Avenue, so 101 Glendale Avenue. Does that sound right?
Well, he's on the
He's on the
303.
303. He
Yeah.
is. Okay.
And so,
wow, those skies are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
This is a good stormy day for us, that's for sure.
So, big picture question.
Yep.
How long does it take to wring the energy and the moisture out of the air? At what point then does the system kind of become exhausted?
Well, okay, so energy today is the best day for that. So tomorrow there is the possibility of some thunderstorms, but I do not expect them to be in that severe level that we may see from time to time today. But moisture is going to take some time. So there are storm chances today and tomorrow for much of the state. And then Sunday, some lingering chances in the valley, but better chances in the high country. And then Monday into early next week, things will start to dry out. But yeah, we're going to be stretching this moisture for all it's worth these next few days. I think I saw someone put in there, we were under, so a viewer just commented we're under flood warnings. It's a flood watch, but yeah, so let me pop that map up because that's good to
What's the
point out.
difference? I know every once in a while you explain that to us.
Yeah. So a watch means that conditions are right for it. It may happen.
Okay.
A warning means it is actively happening or it is certainly going to happen. Watches are put out in advance of something to kind of give you the watch, like, hey, heads up. Warning is like, uh-oh. you need to act right now. I think the joke is if you see like flour and chocolate chips and sugar on the countertop, you're like, ooh, cookies
are coming.
But if you like
Cookies
look and
are
see
coming.
the cookies are like literally baking in the oven, you're like, warning, we're about to eat some cookies right now. Like it's happening.
That is a fantastic
We
analysis.
are about to eat the cookies,
I want some
everybody.
chocolate chip cookies.
So there's the flood watch, guys, through Saturday evening, as mentioned, for areas like Tucson, Cochise County, Graham-Greenlee, and then northern Pinell County, Gila County, and the Valley are under the flood watch all day today into this evening. The concern being really kind of what we're seeing right now in the West Valley, which is these pocketed cells that just dump super heavy rain. And if we get enough of those, we're going to start to see some, running washes that are typically dry. And obviously, we already saw that happen yesterday in the Globe Miami area, where they had some very heavy rain with cells that didn't move much, and they ended up having flooding.
Wow. Okay. Here's one more look at the at this driving shot. This is the West Valley. It started there, and frankly, it's still continuing there. When is the East Valley going to get their dose?
Well, my hope is that this is going to kind of start to close in on itself over the next several hours. So if things continue to go in a way I would like them to go, and what kind of makes sense, I would think by midday or early afternoon, there might be some better storms in the East Valley. But you can already see, if you want to pop my maps up real quick, Ron,
Yep.
there's a couple little cells that are starting to pop up near the East Valley. So the chances are there, the moisture is there, and we will just have to watch and wait to see if we can get some better storms over in the East Valley. I always say I want good thunderstorms, lots of rain for our grass and our trees, but I don't want the severe ones because then we end up with damage, right? So,
Well, like we saw in
hopefully
Miami, that Miami area, I had those viewers sending me images, chatting with one who said she's never seen anything like this before.
Yeah, some nasty rain there.
Okay. Well, weather is a big story today. It's a big deal, and that's why we invite Krystal to come in and be part of it.
Always fun.
Okay.
Stay safe, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, Krystal.
Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
by the way, I mean, we all want the rain. We got to get out of the drought. We all want the cooler temps. And then there's one other thing when it comes to the good news about the weather.
The fall leaves,
Fall
the colors.
leaves. So
Beautiful.
this is Snowball, you guys. They provided these pictures, and I guess it's getting toward that time right now where they are up and ready to go with their whole fall season of activities, gondola rides, family-friendly activities now pretty much every day through the middle of October, the 19th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. And
tickets start at just $12.
Yeah, and it's a
pretty
real
reasonable
tradition, I think, for a lot of folks.
But just driving up there makes you feel like fall. It's really
It sure
beautiful.
does. Now, we don't want any bear sightings
No.
anywhere in northern Arizona. On the other hand, in a different part of the country, there was this.
I don't know.
This is hilarious. This is Ketchikan, Alaska, where two bears snuck into a parked SUV
No,
looking
they
for
did
food,
not.
and they started honking the horn.
How did they get in there?
Well, they got in. I mean, the doors were unlocked, and they started honking. They're like, "Look, we're here.
We're hungry.
We want the food."
Where is it?
This is Ketchikan, Alaska.
Oh, my gosh.
Incredible.
How surprised do you think those folks were, though? When they headed out, I mean, it's Alaska after all.
yeah,
they have
probably.
bear
Good
sightings
point.
often.
Yeah, probably
How
not too
surprised were they
surprised.
when they actually went over there and said, "Hey"?
Mystery Cam time. Back in 2 minutes. And there you go with our mystery cam. And this is, I mean, coming out of those incredible fall pictures from up around Flagstaff and Snowball. Would you look at this farm? And they've got the white pumpkins out, and they got the regular orange pumpkins. And I don't know, I think I see some kind of tannish ones.
So my parents live in Illinois. And literally less than half a mile from their home is a pumpkin farm just like this. It's called Gobert's Pumpkin Farm.
Okay. What town is that in again?
They live in South Barrington.
Okay.
Hoffman Estates area.
Okay.
They have a couple different locations in the northwest suburbs there in Illinois. And we are going to be in Chicago in 3 weeks, and the first thing I'm going to do is walk down to that little pumpkin.
Oh, that is
patch.
so cool.
Yeah, it's just so neat.
Yeah.
I have a guess, only because we've talked about this.
Okay.
But do we want to talk about some of our other guesses?
Oh, for sure. Frankie D. with Iowa. Jared of Sonora says, I'm right there with Husky Mom, thinking it's Pennsylvania. What else
We've got a Prescott. A vote for Prescott.
Oh, nice.
Georgia, Alabama, maybe Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Oh, there's so many good guesses.
I'm going with Indiana.
I like the Pennsylvania idea. I'm with you guys on that one. And so here is your mystery cam.
Which camera are we looking at?
Answer.
Ready?
And what do you got?
Borden, Indiana.
Okay. Look at that. Borden, Indiana.
Yeah.
Okay.
How fun.
Love it.
I love fall.
Nice.
That's my favorite.
You know, me
It's
too.
my absolute favorite season.
Yeah, I mean, if football starts, we're having so much fun with that.
I love football weekends, throwing the chili on the pot, cheering on your team, taking naps. It's crisp, it's cool, the colors.
Correct. And finally, we'll be in the 80s before you know it, all next week in the 90s.
I also love Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Because there's no obligation to gift.
I know. It's way less stressful than Christmas.
It's just food and family and friends.
Hey, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to take you live to Asheville, North Carolina. It has been right at 1 year since Helene slammed into the mountains of North Carolina and did so much damage. But before we do, there's one big story here in the Valley. One of the worst mass murder cases in the Metro Phoenix area that we have ever had to deal with. And a jury did find Cleophas Cooksey Jr. guilty on all counts. This now convicted mass murderer did this all in a 3-week period, in the span of 3 weeks, murdering his own mother and stepfather and many, many other people. And listen to some of the heartbreak as family members and others spoke about it outside the courtroom.
I watched him grow up as a little boy. I wanted to see his eyes when he stood up to walk out the courtroom to see if he had any sympathy, and he had none, and that kind of broke me down too. He doesn't have any heart at all. The way, to actually do these things to people, and actually the worst part, kill your own mom, is just, he's a monster.
And I don't think I'll ever cope with it. I mean, he took my mom. I lost my mom very young when I was 17, and after that, I had a beautiful daughter. And she never got to meet her. She was a hardworking mom, and she would have been a great grandma. He took my mom, the only support system that I had.
He took away my grandkids' dad. They will never know him.
In my daughter's case, he hurt her in so many ways.
The heartbreak there, and what the one woman said through her tears is she was a great mom, and someday she would have been a great grandma, but she never got the chance.
8 victims, 2017. They said that Cleophas knew some of his victims.
And some were random.
And some were absolutely random. I was talking to Kenzie, who was in the courtroom yesterday, and she said, one woman was walking out of the grocery store just with bags of groceries. Very difficult.
Hey, now, as we promised, here in about a minute or so, we're going to get you in North Carolina 1 year later. But we have Krystal, who's rejoining us. What's going on? What's the update?
Well, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning for much of the West Valley, and this is a pretty serious one. It's until 10:45 this morning. You go ahead and take my maps here, and you can see on radar there's a lot of lightning with it. But my bigger concern is the National Weather Service said they issued this because of the possibility of ping pong ball-sized hail, which will absolutely damage a vehicle, unfortunately. unfortunately. So in that area around like Peoria, it looks like specifically, that's the heaviest component of the cell. And I'm going to turn off the lightning layer real quick if I can, so that I can show you guys how deep of a red. I know the mic's getting away from me as I bend over to mess with my computer here. Let's see here. There it is. Okay, so I've just turned off the lighting, and now as you see that dark red that's along the 101 right near Grand Ave,
Yeah.
Wow.
I would assume that's where the largest hail is that's coming. There also is the threat of damaging winds with this storm. It is moving to the northeast at 20 miles per hour, so it's going to kind of move up the 101 and then towards the Deer Valley, like 17 area. Usually a storm that has that kind of capacity doesn't hold that strength for too long, but stick with me. I'm going to pop over to our hail tracker and try to zoom in on it to see where the worst of it is right now. Okay.
When's the last time we saw storms in the afternoon this significant?
Yeah, with hail?
Well,
With
it was
hail.
1 month ago that we had that, the horrible storms and the dust. That was on August 25th.
Oh, yes, the
Yeah.
haboob.
Yes, but hail, I don't remember in the last couple of years a major hailstorm in the valley. And we're going to have to see if we get reports from this, but it's showing that deep blue indicates like 1.5 inch in diameter, which would be quite large hail.
Unbelievable.
Right along the 101, stretching, as I mentioned, near like the Grand Ave area. So this would be like between Peoria and like Glendale, Litchfield Park area. This is just an estimate based off of radar hail tracker. So these aren't like actual ground reports, but I'm hopeful that we can hear some reports from people and hopefully that it's not as bad as it looks. But that's why they put that severe thunderstorm warning in place. I wouldn't be surprised if they have to end up extending this warning. So I think I'm going to be sticking with the stream really until the noon show, basically. And if there are more warnings, I'll keep popping in and letting people know.
Okay, we appreciate
I just
it.
Googled it, and if this is the one I'm thinking of, this was back in 2010, and that's when the largest hail recorded in Phoenix. But I'm not quite sure if that's the storm I'm thinking of. But if Ron, you were here already
Yes.
working, caused so much damage.
The roofers were busy for like a year.
Yeah, it was
really
probably
was
at
incredible.
least 16 years ago.
And yet, do you think about everything that we've been dealing with here? The amount of damage that was done 1 year ago today from Hurricane Helene, as it plowed, literally went from Florida right up through Augusta, Georgia, and then into the mountains of North Carolina. Let's go to Chelsea. Chelsea Torres is joining us live this morning on the 1 year anniversary as we learn a lot more about what they've been through and where things stand now.
Hey guys, well, I'm here in Asheville in one shopping center that was completely underwater. You can still see some businesses behind me that are trying to rebuild. Plenty of other businesses have been able to open, but Helene washed out roads, it took out electricity, clean water, and it even wiped out cell service. And so that immediate help that came in was actually in the sky, and a large majority of those pilots were volunteers.
Helene left hundreds of people stranded in the mountains across western North Carolina, and one of the first eyes on the sky was helicopter pilot Al Mattress.
Watching it unfold, this water was still rising.
The region was a communication dead zone.
I'd gotten there personally, literally right after the storm left.
After seeing the widespread destruction, Al and his team of pilots brought in every helicopter they had. With help from the United Cajun Navy, rescue missions began.
No phones. The phone they have, it's till the battery goes dead. And then they don't know. They can't call in it. They don't know that someone's coming for them.
On the ground doing logistics was helicopter pilot Tim Grant, organizing nearly a dozen pilots from sunup to sundown.
When they would get done with their mission, they would climb high enough that they would find a cell phone tower that was outside, make a radio call and say, hey, this is where I am. I picked up these people and they're okay.
Tim and Al's team of pilots rescued over 50 people in the first 48 hours, hearing the most devastating stories.
He went to go pick up some people and he could see arms sticking out from mudslides that had gone over.
The mission went from rescues to donation drops, and South Carolina pilot Austin Lane was making drop-offs with a group of volunteer pilots.
Deliver diapers for people with newborn babies, or deliver, canned goods or dietary restriction or insulin.
Lane could fit 1,000 pounds of donated goods on his double-engine plane.
It was one of the only few that could get further out, so we were doing about between 6 and 8 trips a day.
Within a few weeks, ground support came in and help from helicopters and planes slowed down.
People that donated their supplies, their people, their helicopters, whatever it was, that was the best part.
And the air support were not just volunteers, but also the North Carolina National Guard. And they actually tell me with help from other states, they were able to rescue 869 people. They also brought in well over 1,800 tons of cargo. Guys.
Chelsea, great report. But let me just ask you, has anybody been willing to go on the record and give a real indication of how long it will be? I mean, we see still the destruction behind you 1 year later before everything's back to normal.
Man, I haven't seen a full exact 100% timeline of this is when we're going to get every single business, every single home back to those people. You know, here's the thing is that the governor's office did say that there's been 97% of roads that have been completely done and fixed, which is great because that was the biggest problem for a long time, just trying to get supplies and resources into a lot of the people in the mountains. $60 billion of damage, though, is what Helene caused here in the region. Well over 73,000 people had their homes destroyed by Helene. And I just spoke with a family earlier this week who is still living in a camper, and they're trying to figure out what's next and how they can move forward to get a home. So, yeah, I mean, trying to figure out an exact timeline, that's almost like a shot in the dark at this point, which is so unfortunate to say. But I will tell you, people here are so resilient, they're strong, and they've been working boots on the ground literally as soon as the water receded. People have been out here cleaning and rebuilding really as quick as they could.
That's our Chelsea Torres reporting for us today. Chelsea, thanks very much. We're going to bring Krystal back in right now. What's happening?
Yeah, okay, so another update that we have here now on top of the severe thunderstorm warnings that we have in the West Valley. Remember that one that's around Glendale over Grand Ave currently is in place until 10:45. But in addition, now we have a flash flood warning that's been issued for almost the entire West Valley. So you can run a line along the 17 and stretch it all the way across the West Valley up to the White Tank Mountain area. In that area, 1.5 inches in many locations they're estimating have started to fall, and another inch or more is possible. So this flash flood warning is until 1:30. Now, when it's in an urban area where you've got lots of streets, that can mean road ponding, but also for any washes in the area, it can mean they start to rapidly run and people try to, drive through them. And unfortunately, that's when we run into issues. So we always say the turnaround, don't drown. It's corny, but it's factual, because how often do we end up having to get these water rescues when we have a heavy storm like this? So these are not done yet. They're picking up over downtown Phoenix and moving into parts of Scottsdale as we speak. So I wouldn't be surprised if we have more alerts coming out with these storms.
All right, Krystal, thank you for the update. Quite a crazy weather day. We've got a break, and then we're going to get into the big political stories of the day and talk about a poll question. Thousands of votes. Here we go. And we welcome you back. Yeah, it's crazy weather here in the Metro Phoenix area, but it's clear blue skies in other parts of the country and a very nice day on the beach.
We have so many clear blue skies throughout the year.
Right.
I think that what we're seeing a lot in the chat box is people saying it never rains in Arizona, and here it is finally. Krystal's been doing such an amazing job tracking the storms.
Sure
and, she's tracking them, she's predicting them, she's watching them, and look how quickly things change. She's just staying with us throughout the entire morning, tracking all of these warnings, flash flood warnings. She said we have ping pong size hail in the Peoria area.
Wild.
I know.
I mean, you just expect to hear about that up in the mountains, up in northern Arizona, but not right here in the desert.
Yeah.
Not on what otherwise has been a pretty hot week in September. Okay, on to some other stories, and we'll just keep track of the weather all morning long for you. But we were rolling when President Trump went to the South Lawn. He's pretty good about dealing with the media on an almost everyday basis. And of course, the question was going to be, what about this big headline in D.C. of an indictment for the former FBI director, James Comey? You are going to hear what he had to say about that. And then I think it was Peter Ducey who actually asked the question, but if your enemies, any political enemy, is going to face criminal charges, are you worried about what might happen 4 years from now if you are no longer so we have it all covered for you, including what James Comey had to say. So we're going to roll that right now.
My family and I have known for years that there are costs to standing up to Donald Trump. We will not live on our knees, and you shouldn't either.
Is this more about justice or is it about revenge?
It's about justice, really. It's not revenge. It's about justice. It's also about the fact that you can't let this go on. They are sick, radical left people.
President Trump, are you worried now that the next time there's a Democratic president, they will indict your FBI director or people in your administration?
That's what they tried to do, right? They did it with me. For 4 years, they went after me. They went after me for 4 years, and that doesn't include the 4 great years that we had in the White House. So when I ran it from, 2016, when we won, it began before I got to office. You know that. Wait a minute. Before I came to office, I started hearing rumors about Russia. I said, what the hell do I have to do with Russia? Nothing. And then it got worse and worse, and some of the fakers, not you, but some of the fake news picked it up and they loved it. And we went through a long time with that. And despite that, we had a great first term.
All right, so you heard what the president had to say, and one of the things I wanted to do was to just give you a little more detail. So what exactly is alleged to have been the wrongdoing? Senator Ted Cruz asked James Comey back in 2020 about some previous testimony that whether or not he had authorized anybody to be a source of a leak to the media. And in 2017, he had said no. And then in 2020, he said, I stand by the testimony I gave you in 2017. So according to the DOJ's indictment, that was a patently false statement under oath. Prosecutors say Comey did authorize a leak. And this goes back to some of the testimony that Andrew McCabe said. Also, DOJ, FBI, back in those days, he had a much different account of what Comey had said or his actions. So that's what it's all about. Our poll question looks like this. Ready? Comey indicted. What's your take? 74% say good. You can't lie under oath no matter who you are. 25% say it's bad. It's purely political. He didn't lie. And then you've got 1% saying, really don't know yet. Let's see what comes out at trial. Anita, we also have our YouTube poll question. Hold on one second here. Or do we have our YouTube poll question today?
It's in there somewhere, Ron.
So usually it's on my YouTube poll question button. Let me try it here one more time. Nope. That's Richard. We'll check in with Richard a little bit later.
It's always interesting
What would
to
be
see
another source for the YouTube poll, you guys? What's that, Anita?
I don't have a button. Here, just come to me. I'll read off.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to Big D. What do you see on YouTube?
Well, hello, friends. Yeah, so we've got about 2,100 votes right now.
That's a lot.
And it is a ton. 2,200 now. 52% are saying good, you can't lie under oath no matter who you are. 35% saying bad, purely political, he didn't lie. And 13% say don't know yet, let's see what comes out at trial. Let me read off a few of these comments that we've gotten. We've gotten a ton. William Pounds 9180 says Comey should be charged for more serious crimes than that. He committed treason, sedition, and conspiracy to overthrow the presidency. BD 3391 disagrees, says, so what about all the Trump cabinet members who have been lying constantly under oath, like Patel lying about the Epstein files? Lee M. J8M says he is no better than the rest of us, and if he broke the law, which he worked in, by the way, then he deserves it. And finally, Yvonne Kovitz 687 says if you stand up to Trump, he goes after you. Funny how Trump is never held responsible for all of his crimes. So many passionate responses here. Keep the comments up. We love hearing from you guys.
Okay. Big D, thank you. Anita? I know you were also looking at these poll numbers.
I was saying it's always interesting to see the difference.
Yes, it really is, isn't it? I mean, 1% in our QR code poll, 13% on YouTube, which goes out to a vast audience. I mean, that's national and really worldwide. Anybody can vote anywhere. And 13% are saying, I'll say open-minded. We'll see what comes out of
We will
trial.
definitely keep an eye on that for you.
Yeah. Okay. There have been protests throughout the day in New York City today, and that's because the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, today was his day to speak before the UN General Assembly. And let me show you, I think we had some of those pictures of the protests as they were happening in Manhattan, in fact, not far away from the main entrance to the UN. So he basically, these protesters are angry about what's been going on in Gaza for more than a year. Of course, Israel is saying it's all a reaction to the October 7th terrorist attacks. Now, believe it or not, coming up on a 2-year anniversary. So what exactly did Netanyahu say? We were rolling on that as well. And here is some of that very impassioned speech he gave. And here's what he said.
The Assad regime in Syria, gone. Those militias in Iraq, well, they're still deterred. And their leaders, if they attack Israel, will also be gone. And for Iran's top military commanders and its top atomic bomb scientists, well, they're gone too. They beheaded men. They raped women. They burnt babies alive. They burnt babies alive in front of their parents. What monsters. And these monsters took more than 250 people hostage. And those included Holocaust survivors, grandmothers and their grandchildren. Who takes hostage grandmothers and grandchildren? Hamas does. I've surrounded Gaza with massive loudspeakers connected to this microphone in the hope that our dear hostages will hear my message. Our brave heroes. This is Prime Minister Netanyahu speaking to you live from the United Nations. We have not forgotten you, not even for a second. The people of Israel are with you. We will not falter and we will not rest until we bring all of you home.
All right, you may have seen how sparse that crowd was because just prior to his speaking, a large percentage of the delegations that were there in attendance got up and walked right out on him.
He kept going.
And he did keep going.
He kept going.
And it was boy, I tell you, it's a reminder of what started all of this with the October 7th attacks. Okay, so this is Fox 10 Talks. We originate from Phoenix, Arizona. We have a worldwide audience. To all of our new folks in the chat box, or just we have our regulars, and then we have people that pop in once in a while, and then we have people who are here for the very first time. So we want to say thank you.
Welcome to everyone. Happy Friday.
Yeah. We've invited Krystal to give us just a little more info. For the 5 million people who live in the Phoenix metro area, it is wild out there. Krystal, what's the latest?
Yeah, so we still have a severe thunderstorm warning and the flash flood warning over the West Valley. That's where the nastiest storms are currently. In fact, you can just go ahead and pop up our radar view and we will take the tour. So everything that's in that like red-orange color is very heavy rain. All the little zigzag you see on the screen are lightning bolts, and there is a lot of them in the West Valley. Now, the flash flood warning is for the entirety of the West Valley until 1:30 this afternoon, with the concern of some ponding on roadways, but also some washes in the area may start to run that are typically dry. So that's a concern. But we also have that severe thunderstorm warning. It expires in 5 minutes unless the National Weather Service extends it, which they have not yet done. But you can see the heavy rain from Glendale to Surprise. And I'm also watching on my phone a separate set of radar that I have to look at like rotation in the storm. And there has been a little bit of rotation in these storms as they've dumped some heavy hail as well. So
what does that mean?
It doesn't mean there's any tornadic activity. What it means is A, there's some strength to it, and B, that this kind of storm would have the potential to create possibly damaging winds or a tornado, although I am not right now. That's not something that I'm warning for. I'm just saying that's something I'm watching. So that just means there's some strong storms here that are rolling to the northeast. The strongest right now is between Glendale and Surprise, where you see that 60 on the map. That is some of the heaviest cells that are moving on through.
Let me just pop up our ENG21 live
Sure.
feed. Once again, we've got one of our photojournalists. Would you look at this now? I mean, there is ponding going on just on regular streets. This is not some normally dry desert wash somewhere on the edge of town. I'm trying to read what that street sign says right there. Can't quite make it out. But we do know that pretty much the entire West Valley has absolutely been hammered. Okay, so they're crossing northern.
Okay.
Right there. And
look
you
at all
can
the
see
garbage cans down and everything outside there too.
Yeah, of course it happens on garbage day.
Yeah, it always does.
Yeah. Okay, back to your weather maps. We got about 30 seconds till the break.
Okay, one more severe thunderstorm warning I wanted to get in there. You can see this warning is just to the northeast of Congress. We're now in Yavapai County. It looks like it has weakened a little bit, but that severe thunderstorm warning is in place as well for the next 5 minutes or so, unless the National Weather Service seems to want to update it and extend it out.
Okay, Krystal.
We're
getting a lot of work out of you today.
I don't get to track storms as much in the mornings.
Yes.
And I always like to do it. So as long as everyone's safe, I'm happy.
Yeah, we're glad you're here. That's for sure. And we're glad you're watching on FTT, especially if you're a first timer. Be sure to say hi in the chat box to the friendliest chat online. Break time, back in 2 minutes. All right, everybody, welcome back. We're just chatting about Niagara Falls. It's been a long time since I was in Niagara Falls. Krystal was saying, Anita, that she went there once as a kid.
Me too.
Indeed, as a child.
They
Yes,
had a Sheraton
memories?
hotel. That's where we stayed. And they had a rooftop pool. And I remember going up there with my dad and jumping in. And it was frigid, but when you're a kid, you don't care. You swim anyway.
Yeah,
right?
That's a really good point. Hey, we welcome you back. There's a kind of an interesting story here. Normally, we go July 1st for a bunch of new laws in Arizona, but we have some new ones that are going onto the books today. So, you know, they look at it and say, well, why not on a random Friday in September? And so let's just talk about what's going into
The
effect.
adult websites are now requiring to verify
Yes.
the age of their users.
Yes.
So whether it's face recognition, their ID, credit card, they are required to verify.
And if you want to start the smoking habit,
Okay.
now you have to wait till 21.
Or continue.
Right. Yeah. Let's say you've been jonesing for a cigarette since you were 15. Well, you can't just go buy cigarettes at 18 anymore. Now you got to wait till 21.
I can't give you the dates, but I remember one of my teachers telling me in Illinois that they were allowed to drink. The law was they could drink at 18. And then at some point between 18 and 21, the law changed. So they were legally able to purchase alcohol at 18. And then at like 19 and 20, they weren't able to do so because it changed. So if you're 18 now and smoking, you have to wait.
Correct. You're, unfortunately, for you would-be smokers, you're going to have to wait 3 years to kick the habit. No, to start the habit.
To start,
yeah,
maybe
actually,
maybe
that's
they'll
a good
be able
thing.
to kick it. Jerry's Law also takes into effect today, and that's named after a pup from is it Gilbert? The hoarding situation in Gilbert. And so that is just going to require pet owners to provide adequate food, shelter, and water, and basically make it a little bit easier for law enforcement to maybe help.
So we did a little digging to find out where there are some laws that might surprise you in other states, and here we go. I believe this is still on the books in Alabama, but it certainly was for a long time. I'm not sure they've removed it yet, but fake mustaches are not allowed in church.
What if you're wearing a fake mustache and smoking a cigarette under the age of 18?
Oh man,
then you're really in trouble.
You are in hot water. So let's see, Alaska. An intoxicated person may not knowingly remain on the premises of a bar, and also it's illegal to whisper in someone's ear if they're out moose hunting.
I mean, you don't want to distract.
I would love the backstory on that one.
You don't want to distract anyone, right?
Yeah, right.
In Arizona, and this is fact, I did an entire special project about stupid laws in Arizona.
Oh, yes.
You can't wear spurs on the back of cowboy boots through the lobby of a hotel in Arizona.
Oh.
That is what they call stupid law in the books. Illegal to dig up a saguaro cactus without permission.
Now, this one is on the list of weird laws, but in Arizona, we get it. These saguaros take generations to grow big and tall and mighty and sprout those arms, and then you see when the cactus blossoms come out in the spring, it's also beautiful, and they're protected. You can't go trying to dig up a saguaro.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not a weird law at all. I think it's actually a really good law. California, I think they still have this on the books unless they've removed it. If a frog were to pass away during a frog jumping competition,
they have many of those in California.
You cannot eat it. So people might look at that frog and think, oh, frog legs. Let's go. Let's fry them up. Not allowed.
I see where you're going. Dip that in
right.
a little bit of an au jus sauce or maybe some ranch dressing.
Yeah, okay.
Don't do that.
Good. Yeah.
In Colorado, you need a permit to modify the weather. So if you wanted to just make snow or make it rain, you can't just do that.
No.
But I'm not sure that you can just make it snow, Krystal. Maybe you can make it rain men, but you certainly can make it rain from the sky.
Okay, how about this one? Let's see, what else do we... in Iowa, it's illegal to serve wine in a teacup. And in Louisiana, it's illegal to surprise someone with a pizza delivery.
Oh.
There must be advanced knowledge.
Okay. I would love someone to surprise me with a pizza. In Connecticut, a pickle must be able to bounce for it to be legally sold.
Oh,
I didn't know that any pickle can bounce.
Yeah, neither did I. And if you guys in the chat box have, in the states in which you are living, If you have some weird laws, you can tell us.
Can we
too.
really quickly mention Maine?
Yeah, of course.
You cannot keep Christmas decorations up after January 14th.
Are you kidding me? There are a lot of people in my neighborhood. Those Christmas lights are still on January 14th.
You may want to send them to Maine.
Yeah. Some people are...
Brandon says frog legs taste like chicken. Doesn't everything taste like chicken?
I guess so.
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever had frog legs.
I don't ever intend to.
Right.
Brandon, good for you.
Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, Christmas is approaching, and the folks at Target have come out with their top toy list. It's weird because in one way it's like an assist to you, the Christmas shopper. A lot of people are already starting to think about their Christmas list, even though we're not even in October.
I know from years and years of working with you that you shop for your wife, Renee, your
That's
beautiful
correct.
wife,
Yes.
and she takes care of the rest.
98% is all
So
done
I'm
by
not sure
her.
if she's given you her list yet or if you know what you're going to get her. But
Right.
I do know you tend to wait until about I don't know, 3 days before Christmas,
Correct.
which is
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, there were a couple of, now I've cleaned up my act, but I'll tell you, there have been some December 24th that I was glad there was a Walgreens
Walgreens is
nearby.
still open. CVS is still open. You're not going to be able to head to Costco on Christmas
No,
Eve.
but here is the list from Target. Number 1. And this is why I say it's a little weird, because on the one hand, it's an assist to you, the shopper. On the other hand, the more they put this out, the more people might think, oh boy, I better buy it. And they might start disappearing with the supplies.
They make more money.
Okay, number 1 is the Nintendo Switch 2, which I still don't really know how they improved on the Nintendo Switch 1.
Well, did it go like Nintendo Switch
Yes.
and then 1 and then 2? I know nothing about the Switch.
Yeah, our
I'm still like old
grandkids
school.
love the Switch.
Okay.
You know, because it's just a little board that you can hold and you can play there, or you can kind of cast
Well,
it.
guess
to
what's
going to
be on their list after they're watching the stream?
The
Grandpa
2.
Ron.
Yep, correct.
The Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah. Well, it's all up to Renee. Okay, here's the
Santa,
rest.
it's up to Santa.
Joanna Gaines, they are going to roll out. Very clever of them. Oh, look, we have some Target video. I mean, we cut it. We might as well use it.
Yeah, there it is.
Joanna Gaines, there's a Joanna Barbie doll. I think it's supposed to look like, I don't think it was when she designed it, kind of looks like Joanna.
Don't they already have a whole section of home goods there, though?
Yeah. So now they have a Barbie doll and a Barbie house modeled after a Chip and Joanna Gaines. So a lot of shiplap. A lot of shiplap in the Barbie doll house.
I wasn't expecting that, Ron.
Oh, really?
I didn't think you paid that much attention to Chip and Joanna.
I have watched plenty
I'm proud of you.
Sure. I feel like I could go on a tour of Waco, Texas and see all the...
Oh, you know our executive producer, Melanie, did.
Did she?
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
she
it'd
did.
be fun. Anyway, Lego, all things Lego are actually probably at their height of popularity for a very long time, which when you think about it, Legos were around when we were kids.
I remember playing with Legos with my boy cousins, and I loved the Legos. They had buckets
Well,
of
it's still a big
Legos.
thing,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Also, Hot Wheels made the list. So I guess it's a great big thank you to Target.
You
Now,
know what
Anita,
I like about the Hot Wheels?
Oh,
You
yeah.
can get one for like $1.25.
I know,
And
right?
the boys love them.
Yeah, they used to have these Matchbox cars, they called them. You could get those for 29
I remember
cents.
Matchbox.
29 cents when I was a kid. All right, so here's a question. Why do men and women view clutter differently?
Do they?
Here's the story.
Okay.
A good chunk of people, over a third, somewhere between a third to a half of people in this poll, in a survey, said their partner's clutter makes them feel less attracted to them.
Oh, wow.
And women are much more bugged by clutter than guys. And women are much more likely to take action if they see clutter around the house. A guy, on the other hand, might look at it and kind of go,
Yeah, it's fine.
whatever, I'll get to it eventually.
My wife will handle it.
So, but seriously, what is the, and if you guys in the chat box have any kind of speculation as to why women are more on it and the guys take a sort of a whatever attitude. We would love to hear from you. But what do you think, Anita?
Every once in a while, Johnny will say to me, I don't mean this to be negative.
Yes.
But can we pick up that little clutter in the corner?
Johnny says it to you.
So I'm very clean. Like
Okay.
you can eat off my floor.
Okay.
Clean. I'm always cleaning, wiping things down.
Sure.
Every once in a while, I might have like a pile of, we call like the return pile of things that I order online.
Right.
Or I might put a sweatshirt here and forget to put it away.
Yeah.
Whereas he is the one who's always putting things away.
Yeah.
So
Well-
together, we have a very clean, uncluttered home.
I thought about this yesterday because if we have clutter, it's not in the house. We keep a really clean house. But sometimes it'll show up in the garage. I'll be like, well, where did those 6 boxes come from?
And who's putting
You
them in
know?
there? You or Renee?
Well, both of us,
Okay.
probably. But I mean, so I was looking at some stuff in the garage yesterday, but I was already tired. It had been a longer than usual day here at work, and you're in the garage and you feel like you're in a sauna still in September. And I looked at it and I said, whatever.
Whatever. They're just going to stay until it cools down.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if that has any explanation. Let's just see what. Okay, let's see. No, really, no. Improvan says, I'm into organized chaos. That's good.
I will say clutter gives me anxiety.
Oh, really?
I do like to walk in. I don't want dishes in the sink. I want everything put away. Every once in a while,
right
I'll
in the
leave a
house.
sweatshirt out.
I know.
But I want it to be so that if someone pops in unexpectedly, you don't have to make excuses and say, I'm so sorry, my house is messy.
I will just tell you that we have had a great hour with Krystal. She's
Okay.
going to keep hanging out
She's
with
gonna
us.
stay with us.
If there are more weather headlines, it could just keep getting worse and worse. Who
Well,
knows?
Sharon
But before-
Rodriguez
go ahead.
says rain is coming down hard again in Glendale.
Okay.
So we're going to track that.
One last story before we hit the break, and then it'll be you and Ty. I heard about a lady who on a cruise ship got stuck in a slide. And, oh my gosh, look at this poor gal. That was her right there. Did you see her?
I do.
How does this happen?
I don't know.
Exactly.
But
Here's
it looks like the slide's going up, not down. So
Yeah.
that must be the end of the slide.
Correct.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean?
I think you're supposed... Oh, no.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
Well, you're not climbing up that
At
slide.
some point, you're supposed to drop out
Which
of there.
way is she trying to go, left or right?
Well, the weird thing is it looks like they want to drop you right off into the ocean. I'm sure that's not the case, but it was on a recent cruise ship. One commentator said the slide had an emergency hatch that lets staff jump in an emergency and help riders get stuck. So we are all having a great day here. We're glad you're hanging out with us. And this poor lady, we got to dig into it and find out how long she was stuck in the slide. That would not
Hope she
be
gets
good.
a free cruise out of it.
Yeah, she should. We'll write letters on your behalf, ma'am. We hope you're out of there, that's for sure. Ty and Anita keep the information rolling after a quick 2-minute break, also co-starring Krystal.
Krystal. Welcome back in, everyone. 2-minute break. Switched out one handsome host for another. Ty is here. The beautiful Krystal Ortiz tracking those storms. We were expecting them. You've been watching them. But, man, it just comes so quickly sometimes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of moving parts to these storms, so I'm going to try to walk through it in a way that's digestible, but if you have any questions in the chat, feel free to send them my way as we're discussing. We're going to get right into it. We're looking at Fox Vision. Look at all these storms. So the last few days we've been saying there was a concern for flooding and for severe weather. We have both a flash flood warning and a severe thunderstorm warning in place right now. So let's dive in first to the valley. That's where we're getting pretty hard hit of some heavy rain and have been now for a couple hours. It started like just before 10 a.m., really firing up. And as a result, there are reports of over an inch of rain in portions of the West Valley. So that's why there's this flash flood warning, because it's still coming down pretty good over here. All of the West Valley, like draw a line down the 17, go west along the 10, that whole area out to the 303 and extending to the 74 under the flash flood warning for the concern of A, washes that may be typically dry running, which means you can't drive through them. And then B, we've got road ponding. I'm seeing lots of reports of that all over the West Valley. Now, on top of that, and here comes a new severe thunderstorm warning as we're chatting. So as you can see, there's a couple clusters of storms, but the worst of it is kind of leveled up just north of the 10 along the 17, spreading through central portions of downtown Phoenix and then up into like Uptown and then all the way up to the Deer Valley, Moon Valley area where the heaviest stuff is, and then all the way over the Grand Avenue, like Peoria area. So let's get to the details. Now we're going to do this on the fly because I'm going to update this newest severe thunderstorm warning that we have, which includes, as you can see, South Phoenix, downtown Phoenix, all of Phoenix, and then into Scottsdale and all the way out to Fountain Hills until 11:30. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning in place. This is cluttered. Let me clear this out so we can get a clear view of where the severe thunderstorm warning is for. Okay. So there's the warning. And like I said, this includes like 143, the 202 out to like almost East Mesa. What is that? Out to the 101 and then extending all the way up into North Scottsdale and PV under that severe thunderstorm warning.
Krystal, I'm getting texts from folks saying that they're hail right now in central Phoenix as well.
Okay, so not surprised by that because that was a big concern with these storms because this is kind of a classic combo. You still have monsoonal moisture. You still have the monsoon high to the south of us trying to drag monsoon moisture into place. But at the same time, you now have this low that's coming in from the west. So you're dragging in like some colder air. This is transitional into fall. And so when you get that combo, hail is easier to happen, especially when you got a lot of energy, which our atmosphere certainly does. So this new severe thunderstorm warning, I'm looking at the info from the National Weather Service. Their concerns, top hazards being 60 mile per hour wind gusts. So that's considered damaging wind at 60 plus and quarter size hail, which also is considered damaging hail. Wow. I have seen at least one report in the West Valley, I believe it was like near the Surprise area of quarter sized hail. So there have been a report of that actually occurring, which is why the National Weather Service is continuing to warn for it. But let's get back to the radar view.
While you're pulling that up, Evelyn says rain is coming down near the 101 23rd Avenue. I know we're Scottsdale, Cactus Road, and I know we're getting a lot of rain at my house. And then I'm getting reports from people in Miami saying it is pouring there once again, just like it did yesterday afternoon.
There's just a lot of moving parts here. Okay, so the severe thunderstorm warning that you're seeing, a couple spots that I'm focusing in on. The first is moving right over downtown. And so do you notice how it almost looks like there's a little bit of a hook to this thing? It's wrapping around the 10 and down the 17 where you see that orange to red. I'm not trying to freak anyone out. But when we see a hook, it means there's some rotation in the atmosphere. That does not mean there's a tornado. I think someone immediately wrote in the chat when I said it, they're like, oh my God, tornado. No, I'm not saying that. There's no tornado warning. The National Weather Service is on top of that stuff. They'll let us know if they're seeing that. But I am looking at another product on my phone. I've got like 3 things open at once over here. And it does look like we're seeing some like more like wide scale rotation up in the clouds, which is probably why we're seeing this little bit of a hook to the storm there. That's at like the 10 and 17 intersection. But there's heavy rain through uptown, midtown and uptown. Yeah, this is moving towards Sunny Slope, and then this is going to continue to move up towards Lookout Mountain, but it's spreading. So that's why Paradise Valley, Gainey Ranch, Scottsdale, all under this severe thunderstorm warning as this heavy rain, strong winds, and potentially large hail move through. So if you aren't getting rain yet, and I have mentioned your area, and you can move the car undercover, maybe do it just in case as these storms are rolling through. There's another look at some of the heavy cells in the Deer Valley area, moving up towards the 74 along the 17. And then I'm just trying to move around here so everybody can get a shot of like their neighborhood. Scottsdale, Salt River looks like getting some heavy rain out of this thing. There's the end of that severe thunderstorm warning. So it cuts off right as we get to the East Valley, like Tempe, Guadalupe area. Yeah, it's a big area because of the fact that these storms are, well, what's happening is, let me zoom out a little bit. So you had storms that actually started down in Gila Bend as like spotty little showers, fired up in the West Valley, started to expand through the West Valley. But now we're filling out from storms that are sitting off to the east of us. Like you mentioned, Anita, there is nasty storms over Globe right now too, heavy rain there. Wow. So everything's just filling in. We had a lot of moisture at the surface. Our atmosphere was fired up. We were at 107 the last 2 days in a row. So it's been kind of itching for stormy conditions. And now that's what's happening is these storms are firing off. And even now into parts of the East Valley, we've got storms that have started to pass on by. Let me zoom in there because I know the East Valley's been kind of missing out for the most part.
While you're watching all these cells, Hector Perez is asking, will rain continue tomorrow?
There is scattered shower chances tomorrow. It does not look as severe in nature tomorrow. So there are still chances, but they might not be like what we're seeing right now. So there's where the storm cells are over this is skipping the 202 along the 101 in Chandler. And then you can see there's another couple scattered cells in like the East Mesa, East parts of Gilbert area, just outside of Apache Junction. But let me go back to that wider view again before we move on, just to remind everyone of this severe thunderstorm warning, since it was just issued. So it's until 11:30. We've got, 24 minutes on the clock on this one. And I'm just still taking a look, guys, at my other product that you can't see on air here, but it's like a wind product I'm looking at just to check in on any rotation or movement with this storm. But it does look like the heaviest stuff is right over the downtown Phoenix area. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit and show it back to you guys.
So as you're zooming in, I'm going to ask you what I asked you earlier about the airport, because that is where we're measuring all this rain. So the rain, the big rain that we saw earlier was on the outskirts, more on the 101, the 303 area. Are we seeing anything more moving in towards the airport?
It looks like a little bit has moved over Sky Harbor, but the heaviest stuff has been clipping actually like the western edge of downtown, and now it's running up to 17. But do you see that really dark? I'm going to put it on now so that we can pause radar's movement here. There you go. That really heavy, deep red color over the 17 just north of downtown Phoenix. That is a very heavy rain. And I'm going to switch over to my hail product just so we can check and see how the hail. Yeah, okay, wow. So these storms are still dumping some pretty good hail. This is an estimate based off of what radar is returning, but it is showing in the 101, like Grand Ave area, still some hail 1 to 2 inch in diameter. And then you see that deeper blue moving through the western edge of downtown. That's like 1 inch in diameter. So this is definitely a contributing factor to why the National Weather Service issued this severe thunderstorm warning, because of the hail that is with this storm and has been persistently falling with this storm. I'm going to zoom this out. You can see there's some smaller hail. It looks like up the 51 near the 101, as well as along the 101. Like, what is that? Maybe like Princess or something around that area. But the worst of it is moving along the west edge of downtown, and then that area of the hail that's moving near Peoria, where that flash flood warning is still in place. So some pretty big storms there, guys. And while I have this up, I do want to go northward. Oops, let's see if I can get my camera to move here. Because there's another severe thunderstorm warning north of Black Canyon City. Yeah, that one also with some larger hail that you can see moving along the 17. So it's kind of a mess out there right now. I'm going to reset just so everybody can see across the state what it looks like. There's the scattered storm activity. It's basically if you drew a line from Yavapai County and the Valley and pressed it northeastward. Everywhere in that zone has stormy conditions, but focused in the central part of the state is where the more dangerous conditions are with those severe thunderstorm warnings and flash flood warnings. So I think we can give it a breather. I walked through all the alerts. I know you guys have some other people to chat with, but I'll pop back up in a few minutes.
Yeah,
or
if
there's any new warnings, you can stick with us on the stream, because any new warning I'll be right back on to talk about.
We're going to chat with Phoenix PD, and then we will bring you back in the second segment as well.
That sounds good.
We want to keep a track of this because we haven't seen storms like this in a really long time. So thank you, Krystal. Appreciate it. Okay, Phoenix PD is recruiting officers, which is very exciting if you have ever had aspirations of coming on. Of having a career in law enforcement. Not an easy one, but doable for many people, and many, many benefits, and very rewarding. Good morning, you guys.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good.
Okay.
Is it hard to fit in that chair with all the stuff on your belt? I don't think we've ever had someone with their belt on. I apologize. We should have thought about that.
Well, that's part of the job, right? Tell us a little bit about what's in that belt.
So this is what we were our typical duty belt. So I have my firearm, handcuffs in the back, my magazine pouches, radio, and taser. So everyone has their belts are set up differently. So it's all preference,
for you, right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you, because if you're like left-handed, would you put something on one side versus the other?
Well, you definitely can't have your firearm and your taser on the same side. So
Okay.
it has to be. So since I'm right-handed, my taser is going to be on my left side.
Gotcha.
How long
always
have you
wanted to
been?
know that.
Yeah. How long have you been with Phoenix PD?
I've been on 19 years.
Oh, wow.
So,
Good
yeah,
for you.
yeah, thank you.
What made
Thank
you want to become a police officer?
You know, I know it sounds super cliche, but it all started with my school resource officer, who was actually, when I got on the department, was still on the department. So, yeah,
cool.
and I think he just retired a few years ago. So, and I've been on 19 years, so he definitely stayed around a long time.
That is it's a tough career, but probably pretty rewarding too, because of the connections that you make, because you basically stay in the same beat for most of your career, right? I mean, you can move around a little bit.
You can.
But you kind of get to know your neighbors within your patrol area.
That's correct. Yeah. So, luckily for us, I mean, we're such a large department that, I mean, you could move around as much as you want, as little as you want. I've been fortunate enough to work in several different areas throughout the valley. So I worked in Maryville, started off in Maryville for 8.5 years. As a matter of fact, Anita, I remember seeing you out on a lot of our scenes.
I remember.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's it. You know, that's a great perspective too, because I know watching you guys, and whether you're collecting evidence or you're talking to witnesses, that's the tough part of the job. That's difficult. Talking to media, right? You know, you're the liaison. You're giving the community. You're giving the viewers the information. But as much as you get to give back, you're also trying to prevent crimes from happening.
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, obviously people don't call us, you know, because they want us to come hang out or have dinner or whatever. They call us on their worst.
Although that's
their
okay
worst.
too.
yeah, definitely. We can always be up for a nice
Don't
dinner.
call 911 for that. Don't do that.
But yeah, it's very, you know, it's very rewarding. And a lot of times you become so invested with certain investigations that you stay with it until the very end, and you reconnect with them, you know, at the very end. But and then there's times where, I mean, you go to the same address like several times, and you get to know these families, and you know, so but in the end, it's a very rewarding career. I mean, I wouldn't change it for the world. So
we have to hit a break here in just a couple of minutes, but when we come back, I just kind of want to talk about, I interviewed the new police chief. He came on AZAM not too long ago, and he said one of the big things was recruitment, because there is quite a few openings within the Phoenix department. So coming up in just a few minutes, we'll talk about that, ways to apply, if there's prerequisites. You got to be in good shape.
I think we should put Ty through the test. At least the test.
How many push-ups do we have to do? Yeah, we'll talk all about that coming up in 2 minutes.
50.
Oh boy, she would too.
department. Who would make a good police officer?
Eric,
Sergeant, detective.
Yeah. Eric, why don't you answer that?
Who would make a good police officer? That's kind of a loaded question. I would say someone who wants to give back to their community, who wants to not see the same thing every single day.
Sure.
His job, you every day is something different. You don't get to have a routine necessarily. So someone who wants to be out with the public, make a difference, and give back to the community.
Let's talk a little bit about, we kind of mentioned at the beginning, but are there any prerequisites to becoming, getting into law enforcement? Qualifications.
Yeah, so to apply, you have to be 20 and a half. Okay, you have to be 21 when you graduate the police academy. No commission of any felonies.
Anita's out.
I'm trying to read the comments, and you're throwing me under the bus.
The drug standards, you have to be able to follow the Arizona Post drug standards. Arizona Post is the governing agency over all law enforcement agencies in the state of Arizona. And so they make the rules, if you will, or the laws that require that. So follow the Arizona drug standards. The big one is like marijuana. Marijuana is very popular, so no marijuana use within the past 6 months of applying. And then it varies from different types of drugs.
What about the physical demands?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Once you make it into academy, what are kind of the physical demands of the job? That's a great question.
So when you're in the academy, depending on who your class sergeant is or who's in
He's got a smile on his face. I think there's some stories behind this.
Which one of you would be tougher? Which one of you would be
She would. It depends on who your class sergeant is. I know some sergeants like to run a lot. Some do a lot of push-ups, sit-ups, but cardio is going to be a big deal. You have to pass a physical fitness test before going into the police academy. That's going to be changing here, coming in January.
Changing to what? Is it going to be harder or easier?
It's going to be
Look at Ty's panic. It's okay, Ty.
It'll be easier, Ty. I promise.
We want you to stay here.
Yeah, so currently there's obstacles, if you will. So you have to be able to jump a 6-foot wall, 6-foot chain link fence, run an obstacle course, do a body drag of a 165-pound dummy, and then do a lap around the track.
Okay.
You get breaks in between those, right?
I was going to say, all at the same time in one day?
Yeah.
Or can I take breaks?
However, the new test coming in January, there's not going to be a 6-foot wall or fence. However, it's a continuous test, so you don't get any breaks during. So there's going to be jumping a 4-foot wall, getting in and out of a window, the body drag, things like that.
Evelyn has a question for you guys. She's asking, once you get hired by the city, can you choose what part of the city you would like to work in?
What precinct?
Or precinct.
So you would get, I think they still do a wish list.
Okay.
Where you can say, when you're in the academy, I'd like to work in the Maryville or South Mountain precinct. But it's not guaranteed. They're going to put you where they need you, but you can definitely make a request.
I'd Google where the most Chipotles are and be like, that's where I'd like to go.
I say coffee shops.
Coffee shops and Chipotle.
That's me. So are you able to put in requests then for shifts? I know those are tough because you're working overnights, you're working days, you're working weekends. When we started out, we worked weekend mornings.
Yeah, you're probably going to be working midnights with Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off for a little bit while you're new, because the department's based on seniority. Again, you can request, but a lot of times they're going to put you where they need you.
Yeah.
So, but it's probably going to be something with working at night and having weekdays off.
There you go.
Benefits and pay are a big thing, and I know we see the banner across the street on the PD saying, this is how much you can make, up to this amount of money.
Yeah, absolutely. We are one of the highest paid departments in the state. Right now, there's a $7,500 signing bonus once you complete the police academy in your first year of patrol, and the overtime is unlimited. And that's time and a half pay, and you're going to be making really good money right out of the get-go for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what's kind of the first step? Are applications open now, or what's kind of like the very first thing that someone needs to do?
So if you just want to go to our recruiting website at joinphxpd.com, you could apply there online, and it also has like all the process, the requirements, salary, benefits, compensation, any questions that you may have are on our recruiting website. If you have any question that isn't on the recruiting website, just feel free to email the recruiters at joinphxpd@phoenix.gov.
And then how long did it take you to perfect the bun?
You know what? I thought you were going to ask me off the air,
good.
Anita.
No, it's good. It's good. I like the look. I like the look.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys for what you do.
Yeah,
it's
we
a
do
very,
appreciate
very
it.
difficult job.
Thank you
and we
so much.
appreciate
Yes,
it. So
thank you.
we'll put all the information up, make sure that if people are interested, they can get a little bit more of what they need.
All right.
Perfect. Thank you so much
for coming.
Yes,
we
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
All right, thank you.
I want to take another look outside because it is getting dark and still seeing a lot of those storm clouds out there. We're going to have Krystal come back in just a few minutes. I hear her on the phone. She's making phone calls talking about this storm that is just kind of wreaking havoc for some portions of the valley
And
this
she's been
morning.
predicting it pretty much all week. And I think what's so interesting is she started out the stream with Ron and I at the top of the 10. And instantly came back in and said, I need to sit back down because this is just getting so much
some
more
severe weather out there,
intense. And so, the other big thing that was a really big story and the things that are also intense are those wildfires that burned in our state.
Yeah.
So we had the Dragon Bravo fire.
Burned over 150 or 45,000 acres. Started back on July 4th and unfortunately caused a lot of damage up in that North Rim.
Started by lightning and also took out that historic Grand Canyon Lodge, which really was devastating for a lot of people. So we are going to go to our next guest. That's also a beautiful shot. We just showed a driving shot. It's cloudy and rainy here in the valley, and we're all really just kind of taking it in because we don't get a lot of that. Good morning to you.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. Can you hear him?
I'm going to put my...
Anita's got to plug in, Brian, but we appreciate you. Let's talk a little bit about this because some good news to finally report that some of the areas, not all, but some of the areas up there at the North Rim are starting to reopen. Can you kind of walk us through what will be reopening?
Yeah, and this really came out yesterday, and it came really to those of us who have been following this closely. You know, it really came as a surprise. It kind of came out of nowhere because the Park Service said the day the Grand Canyon Lodge burned down on July 13th, they said that day or the next day that the North Rim was going to be closed for the remainder of the year. It was just a disastrous situation up there. It didn't appear there was going to be any way to reopen it. Then we find out yesterday they are going to, in fact, reopen portions of it. Now, this obviously does not include the developed area, the lodge area, anything like that. But you are going to be able to access like Point Imperial and Cape Royal. So you're going to be able to get into the park and you'll be directed at Cape Royal Road, which is before you get to the lodge in the developed area. And you can kind of veer off there and be able to visit those scenic overlooks. There'll be no water available, no bathrooms, no cell service, none of that stuff. That's going to be out for a long time. But just the fact that people are going to be able to access certain parts of the park, I call this a bonus. You know, this is good stuff because it was completely unexpected. It's great for the businesses up there. It's great for the Kaibab Lodge, which is about 5 miles outside the park, Jacob Lake Inn, Fredonia, Marble Canyon. It's great for all these locations that had been shut down and really suffering since this fire started on the 4th of July.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get folks to go back up there and support these small businesses because like you mentioned, they have been just really decimated and hit really hard because of this, the fire that started July 4th. So how many months is that? 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, almost 4 months now.
Yeah. You know, and that was going to be my first question is I was actually really surprised by the news as well, because once again, they said it was going to be closed at least through the end of the year. And we're into the fall season now. You know that area so very well. Any recommendations for people who may want to head up anytime soon to see the beautiful fall colors? Maybe not necessarily do a big full-on hike because they haven't been training, but they want to support. What can they do?
I mean, you can go up there to Cape Royal, to Point Imperial. You can get out there, and some of the trails are actually open out there. The ones that did not burn, part of the Arizona Trail is open. The one I'm most intrigued by is the Ken Patrick Trail. You can access 3 miles of that between Point Imperial and Cape Royal. So you can kind of maybe do an out and back. It's 6 miles or so out of that one, or just do as much of it as you're comfortable with. Nothing really available below the rim, unfortunately, and it's going to be a long time before we have access to the North Kaibab Trail or anything like that. None of the trails like Transept or Woodforce around the lodge area, none of those are going to be available. But again, we're talking about out bonus here. So you can get out to Point Imperial, to Cape Royal, hike the trails around there, enjoy the scenic overlook, kind of get a pretty good look, I would assume, at some of the damage that the fire caused. But just be thankful to be out there. And I think they're going to try to keep it open until November 30th. Or until the first major snowfall, which is right in line with what they do every year. That Road 67 is open until November 30th, or until it snows and they can't plow it anymore, and then they close it down. So you're going to be able to get out there in the best time of the year, October, November, the best time of the year. It's going to open October 1st, by the way.
Awesome.
And it's supposed to be open for 2 full months, though. So serious bonus stuff. I can't wait. You know, we do hiking related content here with the Grand Canyon Hiker Dude Show. Obviously, Rim to Rim and the really iconic bucket list hikes are going to be out for still the foreseeable future because there's no access to North Kaibab or anything like that. But again, I'm looking at it as a bonus, and I just can't wait to get up there and just put eyes on the North Rim again and set foot up there and just kind of soak it all in with even more appreciation than we've ever had before.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We're going to check in with you probably a month from now and see how it goes. We appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.
Brian, thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
All right, let's get right back out to Krystal, because Krystal, you
Brian,
are
great
working
job.
your butt off here because
Yes,
you've got
we are
more
over
severe
here.
weather. I wanted to show this real quick before we get to you. If I
Okay.
can pull this up, I just wanted to show this live shot. Let me find it on my computer.
Remote 13,
Well, this
17.
This
there we
is,
go.
look, one of the overpasses. Do we know exactly where this is, you guys? We've got one of our photographers on scene, and you can see that this is kind of one of those culverts,
Looks
those
like
dams.
Wow.
That is
Sun City area,
filling
possibly?
up as we speak. So this just goes to show how hard that rain is coming down. I'm going to get right to your weather maps, Krystal, so you can kind of walk us through what you're seeing.
Sure, and just to add to that, I just saw someone on X say that there's been at least 4 water rescues in the Sun City area. So
Wow.
this is definitely causing flooding. Remember, the flash flood warning is in place over in the West
How
Valley.
many water rescues?
I saw 4 reported. Yeah.
okay.
So, and we'll have to see if there's more to come. But there's the view of the rain that is falling right now over Bell Road. We only got a minute left, so I just want to quickly show off the current scene over the valley, where there's just some nasty thunderstorms still rolling through.
Man, look at
A
this.
mess, right? So the
Relentless.
bright red is a flash flood warning. That is all of the West Valley until 1:30 this afternoon. The orange that you see is severe thunderstorm warnings. The first one expires in 3 minutes, and that's right through Phoenix in the heart of the valley. Then you've got this brand new one that was just issued a couple of minutes ago. This one's in effect for another about 20 minutes. This includes North Scottsdale and then getting into the foothills of the valley around the Fountain Hills and Rio Verde area. Same issue, quarter-size hail, flash flooding, as well as the concern for us to see some damaging winds that we are expecting to see moving on through. So there's the look at the flash flood warning. Oh, and they've just issued a new flash flood warning as well, guys. That one in place, it looks like, until 2:30 for the rest almost of the North Valley. We'll be right back.
that is a pretty good view of what is happening right in the downtown area. Not raining right now, but I mean, it's off and on. I just went outside a minute ago and dumped on me pretty good. So you get off there toward Camelback, Danielle, and you can see the clouds. It was a dark and stormy day.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy out there. We were driving back from our last live shot in the West Valley, and it got hit pretty hard.
So let's go right to Krystal because she's still watching it. What's the very latest now?
Yeah, okay, so we've got a new flash flood warning that was just issued. We have a new severe thunderstorm that was issued like 10 minutes ago or so. So let's dive into it. There's the view. Obviously, everywhere you see it in red and orange are the heaviest pockets of rain. All the little zigzags you see are lightning, and there is quite a bit of it, mostly in Phoenix and now in like the Scottsdale up to the foothills area, although it looks like the East Valley now getting a little bit of action too. Here's the closer look. I've removed the lightning so it's a little clearer to see where the heaviest rain is. Draw a line from like South Phoenix through Uptown into North Scottsdale. That's the line of heaviest rain falling. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning over the valley. That has just come to an end. Now it's that northeast edge of the valley along the 101 up into Fountain Hills and Rio Verde under a severe thunderstorm warning until 11:45 this morning for both large hail as well as some damaging winds. I'm seeing plenty of reports of folks saying they had 1 inch in diameter or quarter-sized hail, both in Phoenix and in the West Valley. So it's no surprise they continued the severe thunderstorm warning. Now, the red boxes that we see, those are flash flood warnings that are in place. The West Valley in place until 1:30 for over 1 inch of rain that has fallen. And then in the North Valley as well as parts of Phoenix until 2:30 in the afternoon. And actually, I have the Maricopa County Flood Control District data up, and I'm just going to give it a refresh to see some of these rain totals
this will be good, yeah.
Yeah, so let's see here. They're so great that just having all this data available. So yeah, there is at least 2 spots that I see at over 1 inch in the Litchfield Park to Westgate area. And then along the 101, kind of near Deer Valley Airport, there's an inch report. And then quite a few reports of these areas that are raining between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 an inch of rain. So that is how much has fallen already. And clearly, as we've been seeing on radar, it is not stopping at this point. Now, in the Phoenix area, there's no longer a severe thunderstorm warning, but there certainly is ponding on roadways out there, which is a concern for folks that maybe are going to be trying to leave early, maybe to go to the ASU game. We're already getting questions. How does the ASU game look? So I'll answer that question quickly, which is that I am hoping that my forecast earlier was between like 11 and 5, 6 o'clock being the hotspot window. I still feel like that. We started at about 10, not 11. So it should be coming to a close around the time of kickoff, which should bear pretty good for the game. But we'll have to watch. And then notice there is a new thunderstorm that's fired up in the East Mesa, like AJ area.
Finally.
No warning on that.
Yeah.
Finally, yes. But I will say also that I think this is going to continue for several hours. So it will close in on the East Valley and some of the spots that haven't gotten hit yet.
Yeah.
And there's the wide view.
When you widen out, I think we learn a lot.
Yeah. So if you draw a line from like Yavapai down to the valley, down to Tucson, everywhere north and east of that is under the threat of more active storms for the next really several hours. But I did want to show, let's see, I'm going to zoom in first to like Pinell County, and then I'll go over to Gila County because we had a ton of flooding just yesterday in the Globe, Miami area. And look at that. More storms have been moving over there. So Anita was saying that one of the viewers that sent her reports yesterday of flooding said it's starting to happen again out there. Unfortunately, I mean, the ground is fully saturated, so that is part of the problem. Yeah. But again, the latest look for the valley shows that there's 1 severe thunderstorm warning left, and that is in the northeast corner of the valley, including North Scottsdale. But much of the valley now, with the exception of the East Valley, under flash flood warnings. And it always shocks people, so it's a good reminder. 6 inches of moving water can knock a person off their feet. 12 inches of moving water can float a car, and about 18 to 24 inches of moving water can float an SUV. So you see, if you see some water in a roadway and you're like, it only looks like a foot, that might be enough to end up creating issues for you. And we're already hearing, you said you've been listening to some of the scanners that we have in the newsroom. Yep. Water rescues galore, right?
Yeah. And it's emergency cruiser. And we know as these thunderstorms and the rainstorms pop up, it's always leading to accidents.
All it takes is a few people making the wrong decision.
Yep,
and
exactly.
Krystal, she just gave you the warning right there. It doesn't take a lot.
Yep.
It really doesn't.
You might think 18 inches, 24 inches, no big deal, but it can be a big deal. All right, Krystal, thank you. By the way, I did on the background, there's still hope. There's a little teeny bit of sunshine.
Yeah, there's a little bit of sun.
On the camel's head on Camelback. How about that?
There you go.
All right. So
Thanks, guys. I'll be back at noon.
Okay.
On the noon show.
Krystal, thanks very much. Now, in the meantime, we better start talking football. Danielle, we have Richard.
Love
Did you
it.
get a chance to watch any of that game last night, the Cardinal game?
I did not,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh,
yeah,
man, they
but I
came-
heard about it.
they
I
came
watched all the updates.
Storming back. Richard, by the way, was out of there before the game even ended. He headed right on over. Let me see my source on this. This is 21. We're going to get out to Richard right now. Buddy, what's it like to have to stare at Corey's head for hours on end?
Yeah, Corey's been a great sport. He's been hanging out the whole time. You know, we also have Christina and John Hook here.
Yes.
So it's been pretty cool. And we got a little bit of rain. You guys were talking about the weather.
Yeah.
And the cool thing is I have these different cameras. Right? Let me go to my phone cam.
Okay.
And I could give you a look of what's going on outside. So this is the phone cam. Take a look at this. So I can pick this up.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Come outside. They're setting up for the Cheez-It area. It's like a little tailgate. This guy was super cool. He gave me a box of Cheez-Its earlier. He was like, hey, buddy. He called me over. I was like, oh, boy, am I in trouble?
Yeah.
And he gave me a box of Cheez-Its. Tom Fergus came out, and he
Made some pancakes, on National
Hey,
Pancake
thanks
Day.
for the Cheez-Its, man. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, it was National Pancake Day. So this is what it looks like out here. It's nice and sunny.
Richard, somebody said your muffins might be getting
just
wet.
for a little bit, so...
Oh, I'm so glad Richard mentioned that Tom Fergus was out earlier, because Tom did Richard a real favor.
He did.
Woke him up this morning.
That's
Watch
right.
this, everybody.
He did.
I'm going to roll SOT
he made a
1.
pancake with an R on it.
Do we have SOT 1? I don't know if we have SOT 1. Hello, everybody. SOT 1, Tom and Richard. I'm looking over there. You guys see that one at all? No? Yeah, I guess not. Anyway, Richard, keep rolling, buddy. You're on fire. Go for it.
Good. Well, yeah, so you saw that I went outside.
Yeah.
And so I got different cameras. This is the party cam, so you can see outside.
Hey, Richard, hang on one
but
more
then we
second.
also have
Here
the
was
table cam
your
as well.
wake-up call from Tom Fergus. I thought this was so courteous of him.
Oh, yeah.
Roll it.
Stand by. We're going to wake him up. Yeah, I'm outside of Mountain America Stadium. Of course, the Sun Devils are playing TCU tonight. But, you know, security already is in place all around the stadium. I fortunately was able to get in along with my photographer, Juan, but some riffraff showed up yesterday, and there it is. Yeah, there's the Rollin With Richard camper. I thought we'd just kind of wake him up, so I brought the megaphone. Yes, sir, can I see your parking pass, please? I'm going to need some license and registration. Excuse me, but do you have a parking pass? I don't think you're supposed to be parking there. There's the parking.
A box koozie.
Here.
Good morning. How are you, buddy?
Are we ready for game day? Let's go.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I've been up. I heard you guys were going to try to get me.
Yeah.
I'm up.
Yeah, well,
That was amazing.
so funny.
Morning show
All right,
stuff.
Richard.
It's so fun.
yeah, we did. We rolled it. Tom was right there. I mean, a personalized wake-up call. How you doing, buddy? After last night and this morning, and how you feeling about the game tonight?
Well, when people ask me, how you doing? Because you've been streaming for so long, this is what I tell them. I go up to them and I look them in the eye and go, I'm doing great. I am fantastic. Really. I'm doing fine.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And Richard, I see your
But
muffins.
yeah, that was a tough loss last night.
People are wondering how you're doing out there with the weather. Is it hitting you? Some lady was wondering if your muffins are floating away. I think she noticed the muffins on the table.
Yeah, Melinda was talking. See, probably Melinda or Husky Mom. See, this is my muffins are here. This is.
They look like
I've
they're
been
safe.
Trying to give some muffins away, and nobody's eating the muffins.
What?
These are Costco muffins. This is good stuff.
That's good stuff.
So it's
I'll
been
drive
kind of a
out there.
challenge
Me too.
To get somebody to accept one of my muffins.
Wow. Okay, Richard, should we
Tom
be
and
feeling
Juan
good
earlier,
about...
They shared a muffin.
Should we be feeling good about
So, we'll
ASU's
see what
chances
happens.
tonight against TCU? I feel good. Should we all?
Yeah, especially with the home field advantage. I had the Inferno crew out here earlier. They were all pumped up. Sparky was with them. So, yeah, you got to give credit to the home crowd here. They've been packing the house. They've been doing a great job. And this is a big game. The Big 12 is stacked, as you know, Ron. So it's gonna be a challenge, but hopefully the home crowd will be the extra ingredient that the Sun Devils need to get the win. The running game's been great for ASU so far. I think offensively, when it comes to the passing game, Sam Levitt needs to spread it around a little bit and not just focus on Jordan Tyson so much, even though he is a special talent.
He is special. Okay, so we're going to be watching that for sure.
That's right, and it's a blackout game. Yep, so everybody wear their black. There's a big drone show happening. It's very, very important.
Oh, speaking of, look.
Look at you. Oh, that is so cool.
We're going to intimidate those horned frogs.
People gave me this. So I got Cheez-Its. The Cheez-It guy gave me the Cheez-Its.
Wow.
I got the T-shirt. I got pancakes. Brad Gass is going to bring me lunch.
Rolling large.
It's funny. I'm just going to hold up a sign that says, "We'll report for food."
Okay.
And so far, so good.
That's what I do every day.
But, Richard, here's my other question. The #1 team in America, Ohio State, rolls all the way out to the West Coast. Now, before I ask you whether they should be on upset alert, let's go to the stadium. Oh, yeah. All right. So, you better believe I'm going, and I'm taking the grandkids. Richard, do the Huskies have a shot?
Oh, look. Robert Barrett's here. Our director, Robert Barrett. We're live. Robert. So
do they
go to the phone.
do they have a shot at pulling the upset? Yeah, here we go.
What's up? Look at this.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah, Ohio State has a chance. Oh, more candy.
More candy. Sure, nobody wants muffins, they want candy.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is it. The blow pop is a sign that Ohio State's going to get blown out. They're on upset alert, Ron.
Yes. That makes me happier than actually consuming the blow pops.
And that doesn't look like a very healthy lunch, Richard. I don't know if blow pops are.
Hey,
Yeah.
I'll be a good boy next week. This is my cheat week.
There you
Richard,
go.
you rock, buddy, and so does Robert. I mean, with the food delivery, all 4 food groups represented in the RV. I think it's a beautiful thing. Danielle, I'm so excited for this game
I know.
tonight.
I can't wait. We're going
at Mountain America, and then
the
tomorrow.
great thing about these snacks, they're sugar-free.
Oh, yeah. Calories don't count on the bus.
All right, Richard.
All the
thank
sugar
you,
is
buddy.
free. No extra charge for the sugar.
I just hope he gets a little bit of nap time between. It's been a long 24 hours going into 48. Hey, we're having fun hanging out, but we got to take a break. We have a mystery cam. If you guys want to participate, where is that hoppin' city? We'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. It's Ron and Danielle. And let's just see about some of the guesses, Danielle, that are coming in. Somebody's having a street fair going into the weekend. I like little philosophy.
And it looks sunny.
That's a guess saying it looks like it could be Oregon.
See, that's exactly what I thought.
Is that right?
When I first looked at it, I don't know why I thought Oregon. I have no idea. But
well, it's a sunny day wherever it is, right? That's for sure. Let's see who else. I guess that's our main guess so far. Anybody else have any guesses? You can give it to us. Are you going to go Oregon then?
I would
Danielle?
say that was like my first initial. I don't know why, but
okay.
What's yours? What do you think?
I think it's more. Well,
I do see like the old school buildings. Like, are those houses over there?
Yeah, they look a little more like, especially that gray building in the distance looks almost a little more East Coast, maybe even New England-ish. Who's having a great big street festival this weekend? I think I'm going to go...
Ohio, somebody said.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm going to go North Carolina. So we got an Oregon and a North Carolina, and Danielle, you can do
Drum roll, please.
Honors.
Let's see. There we go. It is... Who gave us this? I don't even know how to say this.
Oh, go ahead. Turn it around.
Ephrata?
Oh, Ephrata.
Ephrata.
Yeah, we have. It's not Ephrata, Washington, because I grew up about an hour from that town.
Got it.
But this is Ephrata. Go ahead and turn it around.
I'm afraid to say it because I don't know how to say it.
Turn it around.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, here we go. It's Pennsylvania.
Here we go.
I wonder if they pronounce it Ephrata.
Yeah,
I know we do up in the great Northwest.
I obviously don't get out much, so.
Yeah, one more look
Phoenix,
at that,
Arizona.
At that little burg.
That.
Yeah, look at that. That looks
That's
like
really
a fun
cool.
place. Yeah.
I'm sure you can smell kettle corn in the streets.
Yeah. Did you smell the popcorn in the newsroom this morning?
No. I only smelled the pancakes.
Somebody actually brought some Orville Redenbachers from home.
Oh.
Well, the smells in the newsroom were a beautiful thing.
Amazing. I smelled the pancakes from Tom. He brought them back, and it smelled like Grandma's house when I walked in. So I was like, I can dig it.
Hey, we've got a guest that we want to introduce to you now. It is Elena Cardone, and she's speaking at this big women's expo
It's all
that's
about
going
the
to be
ladies.
happening this weekend. Elena, welcome to the Valley. I would say welcome to the Valley, but you actually live here part-time, right?
That's right. We have some businesses here, and in Scottsdale, we have the Promenade. So Cardone Ventures, Cardone Capital, Cardone Enterprises, and 10X Health.
Yes.
We are deeply rooted into this community.
That is amazing.
I think we've got some video. I'm going to roll it here.
Look at you.
Oh, hello.
Okay, beauty queen.
Okay, so this is you speaking at other events. And what is the message that you want to share with people who have goals in their life to really be successful on multiple fronts?
Well, first of all, it is my passion to empower women, protect children, and restore the family unit. Okay. And that's why I was so honored to be speaking tomorrow at the Phoenix Convention Center for the Ultimate Woman's Expo.
Right.
And I'm going to be speaking from stage about the book, this book right here, Dianetics from L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
It's the modern science of mental health. And this book alone is what helped my husband and I achieve all of our goals, dreams in personal, professional, and our financial ways in life. So this one book alone is what I would say is our massive successful action. And the reason why this book is so powerful and why I'm so excited, come down tomorrow at 1 o'clock and hear me speak. I'll get
because you're going to see excitement like this.
Yes, more details. Because this book, amongst other things that it addresses the mind, it addresses the reactive mind. And what is the reactive mind? It's the portion of the mind that contains all the pain, the trauma, the losses, the divorces, the deaths, the operations, the surgeries, the accidents, abuses, everything. Well, out of that mind, those calculations and those mental image pictures, whether you realize it or not, affect your decisions going forward in life and can hinder and stop the fears, the irrationalities, the griefs that prevent you from attaining success in all areas of your life.
And when did you read that book?
I read this book years ago, and this is what got my husband and I aligned on the same page. It allowed me to get rid of that computation that I had made from that reactive mind, that I had to be this independent, powerful woman, never depend on a man for anything, because I thought my survival depended on it. If I was going to depend on my husband, in my crazy mind, I thought that equaled death.
I got to ask you about some of the images we're seeing here in this amazing video that you guys provided to us. It looked to me like you were, if I it just flashed on the screen for a second, but I think I saw the former presidential candidate, Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yes.
What was that conversation all about?
That was an amazing conversation. I like to take credit for that. He spoke at 10X Ladies, so that was my event. Okay. And he was one of the only gentlemen that I have speak there. But he was going to be coming out as a presidential candidate, and I thought it was important for women who are interested in their families and taking responsibility to hear what this man had to say. And then the following week, and of course when he spoke with me, no one knew who he was. Thank you. And then after that, he spoke on the debate stage, and then he had
announced
his voice.
after that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
wow, there you go. So
Very
you gave
cool.
him the nudge,
Yes,
the all-important nudge.
Me. And you better never forget
And it came from a woman.
That's right.
That's right.
We just have such limited time. Again, when you guys first reached out to us, you're like, look, we've managed to build some real wealth for ourselves and we feel great about it. But there's something that's more important, and that's the family. As you've been on this wealth building journey, how have you made sure? Tell us about your family, and then tell us how you've made sure that they're not forgotten. In fact, they're fully integrated every step of the way.
Well, absolutely. Family is the most important asset that I feel we have in society. As a matter of fact, real quick little note here. The U.S. consensus says that in the 60s, it was 1 in 3 that came from a split family. And now we're to 1 in 10 in the 60s.
Okay.
Now we're at 1 in 3, and actually Phoenix is even higher than that.
You're saying with a divorce in the family,
rate.
either a single mom, single
yes,
dad, doing their best.
That's
yeah,
right. That's right. And for me, I believe that it's crucial that we restore the family unit, the family values. It sets kids up for success, to be productive, happy, contributing members to society.
So especially if you're a single parent and they're like, yeah, I'd like to kind of start climbing that wealth ladder, but I'm already so tired at the end of the day, et cetera. How do you do it and still make sure that your kids are, fully involved and fully loved in the family?
Absolutely. My kids have been taught from a very young age that they're first, and it is family first, but our mission is to help people, and we provide services, sales, marketing, training, follow-up, motivation, and this is how we help other families take care of themselves. And so you can participate when we have to be on the road. You can help by not causing a distraction, and when you do that, you're actually helping those people. So now they're on the payroll, they understand about finances, they want to contribute, they want to exchange, but they also understand that in order to have the life that we have, there will be moments of sacrifice in order to have the bigger picture in the end, where we're all on the same page having the life that we want.
Well, we are, I'm sure you're going to pull in a big crowd tomorrow.
It almost
It's
looks
tomorrow,
like a rock
right?
show,
How
all these
can people
photos.
attend, and when should they be there if they want to hear you?
So I'm taking the main stage tomorrow, 1 o'clock at the Phoenix Convention Center.
Downtown, yeah.
And then afterwards, they're more than welcome to come to the booth, the Dianetics booth. I'll be giving away a free gift and photos and answering any questions there. And then anyone who can't make it out but does want to receive this book, you can obviously go online and get it there, or you can go to elenacardone.com/success.
Okay.
It's amazing.
Elena, we appreciate you spending time here. Glad to know you're a part-time resident right here in the Valley.
Yes,
as a matter of
So
fact.
you're enjoying our rain just like we are.
Yes,
I couldn't
right?
believe it.
Like, yes.
I'm like,
Holy
am I
cow,
in Miami or am I in Phoenix? Where am I?
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks very much for your time. We're going to wrap up with just a couple of quick stories here. And one, Danielle, I thought was really interesting. It just came in on our Health Watch this morning, and it has to do with booze and dementia. I had never really heard about this before, but the results of a large UK study found that it can, even one drink a day can actually have an impact on your brain.
Yeah.
You're
I've
saying,
actually seen,
but you've looked into
I've
it
seen
a
a
bit?
few studies pop up recently about something like this. And I think the main studies that I've looked at were dealing with binge drinking, which I think is a little more obvious. But now they're coming out with, just like you mentioned, the one drink a day could really affect your cognitive abilities. So
yeah. Okay. So they say it actually can have a long-term impact on the brain, and it can increase the risk of dementia. So we already know about some of the other just sort of risks that are out there, and that's one more. that you might want to consider. Now, there's another story, Danielle, that we need to talk about.
Let's do it.
Has to do with the why people are. The headline for the story is this: we don't concentrate like we used to in this country. And it really impacts all age groups.
Mm-hmm.
We're just not able to concentrate like we used to. Any ideas why? Because I got an idea.
Cell phones?
The phone, right? I mean,
the
it's
instant gratification
you're
for
scrolling
everything.
And you want answers and you're like, I'm sorry, I looked at that for 10 seconds. I'm going to move on.
Yeah.
And I think it does kind of impact your overall kind of
No,
view
it definitely
of life.
does. And I think, too, I even look at my phone sometimes and I have so many screens pulled up.
Yeah.
And I don't even remember like what I'm looking at. So I was on this screen, I was looking at that, and then I switched to a different one. And, oh, yeah, I forgot to go do this. But, yeah, we're all over the place.
This is not a small study. They analyzed 4.5 million people and asked if they were experiencing more frequent episodes of just having trouble concentrating and having trouble making decisions. And particularly in the under 40 crowd, a lot of them were saying yes.
Yeah.
So,
no, I would agree with that.
okay.
Some things you're always wondering what's the right move.
Right.
And especially if you're type A like myself,
Yes.
you don't want to make those mistakes.
I didn't even have any idea that you were a type A, Danielle.
You can't tell, can you?
Hey, one more quick story before we say our goodbyes. I just happened to, I don't know, I thought this was a great story. We are going to go to the zoo in Milwaukee. We have believe it or not, this is a fairly young calf.
Oh.
And after this calf was born, they decided, hey, let's get Lee.
Is that the cow's name?
Yes.
Lee?
Lee the cow. Let's find him a friend. And so they introduced him to Mabel, the other cow.
Oh.
So she was just born a couple of months ago. Lee, by the way, already weighs 107 pounds. I love the traditional names. We're not saying it's love, it's just friendship. But for Lee, he's got a friend in Mabel.
So cute.
Yeah.
What a cute video.
I like the traditional names.
I
by
love
the
it.
way.
And I think they're coming back.
The traditional names?
Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Next child possibly could be a Mabel in your family?
I don't know about that. The child or the name. Stay tuned.
There you go. All right, we got to say our goodbyes. Thank you for joining us for the whole 2 hours. Fox 10 Talks is on every morning from 10 till noon. And by the way, we're rolling right into Fox 10